It is true that the most cognitive skill that you may have could be an obstruction to your financial success. And the reason is, in today's age and time, the very plausible and reasonable understanding is being disrupted by the people who have a standardized mindset about finance and money. When I say a standardized mindset about money and finance, has to do something with their self-belief. And here, the self-belief is much more powerful than the logical mind. Self-belief is much more empowering over the most plausible and reasonable understanding of finance. So the mathematics here takes a backseat and the psychology takes the most prominent seat. So all the logics that you have about the computation or the facts and figure with all the analytics, in fact, are put in the dock before the self-belief that a person in particular has about himself or herself. And that's why when you see things around you, that people may not be that intellectual, people may not be that logical, but are successful beyond your comprehension. And the reason is, you try to comprehend based on the plausible explanation that your mind can deduce intellectually. But here, there's nothing to do with intellectualism, purely based on the psychological aspect of one's self-belief. So can you imagine, if I have a self-belief of someone who could be worthy of XYZ without having the prerequisite attributes of the same, I may be entitled to achieve those things. And this is how dynamic the whole universe is. It always is drawn by the energy rather than the perspicacity of your mind. So even if you have this perspicacious mindset where you are able to analyze things more deeply, but are doomed by a one person who has self-belief of a different nature. It could be termed as something like what you're drawing from what you're giving out. So you are giving out as someone who is superior, and hence this dynamism of the universe is drawing those things towards you, which is in alignment with the energy that you are exuding. And that has got nothing to do with your intellectualism. So on the ground of pragmatism, the whole universe is so dynamic, and the energy that you are exuding is much more important than what your logical mind is thinking based on some facts and figures. Now, I know that you may have heard this before a number of times, but the whole idea here is that despite all that academic qualification and knowledge that you have gained, still there are chances of you being doomed by those people who may not have any base of intellectual capacity, but can actually work through what they have standardized the concept about themselves and believe in it 100%. That faith in their belief system is so much that no matter who you are, where you come from, the university, the institution, all will be met with setbacks in face of their belief system. So my dear friends, the belief is everything. That assumption is everything. Reasoning is not. What you assume yourself to be is who you are. And that has no barrier. Because the entire cosmos is so dynamic. It can just follow the mental wavelength that anyway you are exuding. So what do you believe about yourself? Just put aside all your intellectual knowledge and put forth the strength of your assumption. Who knows? The assumption of yourself could overthrow the illusion of your knowledge.